The council chamber of Ryan Prime was built to make visitors feel small. Every pillar rose like a tower shaped from crystal stone. Every beam of light was fixed to highlight the authority of the ruling seats. Delegates from dozens of species filled their tiers, each cloaked in the colors of their homeworlds. At the center stood the trial platform, a single circle of metal with a human envoy named. Daniel waited in silence. Daniel had traveled across 9 sectors for this summit. He had carried an offer from Earth, a final attempt to avoid the rising conflict sparked by border raids and trade blockades. Humanity believed in dialogue, at least until dialogue failed. Daniel had come with open hands, not clenched ones. He expected debate. He expected tension. He did not expect judgment without hearing. The council speaker, a tall figure with scaled bronze skin, lifted a staff. The thud echoed across the chamber. Delegates went silent. The verdict was already written. The charges were already decided. Humanity was to be blamed for every escalation, every clash, every fire on disputed planets. Whether true or not no longer mattered. The council needed a villain, and they had chosen Earth. Daniel raised his head when the speaker announced the sentence. The words felt unreal, as if spoken through glass. Execution. Total removal. Immediate. No discussion. No chance to speak. No right to defend. Security moved in. Daniel did not resist. He stood tall, breathed slow, and said one quiet line that the council almost missed. "You have chosen the wrong path." Moments later, the chamber lights dimmed. A pulse of energy flashed above the platform. The envoy of Earth was gone. The speaker turned away, certain the problem was solved. The council's order would spread to all member worlds. Humanity would be forced to accept their inferior position. If they refused, they would be punished. The speaker believed fear would keep humans compliant. He did not understand humans. In the deep void between stars, the Earth flagship Horizon detected the envoy's signal, "Go silent." Captain Lena, a firm officer with a calm voice, felt a chill crawl through her chest. Daniel had been a friend. He had been a symbol of hope, and hope now flickered out. The message containing the council's decree arrived shortly after. A cold declaration, stripped of empathy. The envoy had been executed for the convenience of the council. Lena sent a transmission toward Earth. Her voice never shook. Envoy terminated. Council refuses peace. Initiating contact protocol. Far across the system, every Earth station caught the coded report. It spread to lunar outposts, orbital rings, research fleets, and deep colony ships. It reached the old command bunker buried beneath the Andes. It reached the Council of Earth Command, where 10 quiet figures listened to the death sentence delivered to humanity. There were no shouts, no anger, only a silence that carried far more weight. At last the commander stood and issued the 2 words humanity had hoped never to use: Eradication Protocol. No human citizen alive had ever heard the protocol invoked. It was designed long before peaceful diplomacy became the norm. Back when Earth survived extinction threats, when invading fleets tested the species and found resilience that bordered on fierce. The protocol was not for punishment. It was for final response. An answer to an opponent who sought to erase humanity entirely. The order raced outward through secure networks. Docks awakened. Shipyards released vessels designed, but never deployed. Defense grids shifted from passive to active. Civilians moved into protective zones. Every human world prepared, not for conflict, but for total commitment. The Horizon changed course. Lena stood at the center of the command deck as the ship's core activated. A hum filled the air, like an awakened beast stretching after long sleep. The flagship linked with 7 other heavy cruisers. Light flickered across armored hulls. Engines opened. A long silent fleet roared into motion. Human warships had a reputation already blooming across the galaxy. Compact, efficient, relentless. Built by a species that had survived disasters and grown sharper for it. The Council believed humanity was still a small player, still too young, still too few. They were wrong. When Earth committed, it committed fully. Across Council space, news of the execution spread. Some species whispered that the ruling decision had gone too far. Others claimed humans would back down like they always did. Trade allies shook their heads and went silent. Most believed Earth would protest but nothing else. They underestimated what the loss of one envoy meant. In the outer belt of Council territory, the first sign arrived. A patrol station detected unknown warp signatures. Confusion filled their screens. Dozens, then hundreds. No identification from Council fleets. No requests to stand by. The shapes matched nothing in Council archives. The station commander tried to send a challenge. Before the message left the antenna, the sky around them lit with precise bursts. The station was disabled in seconds. Not destroyed. Not damaged beyond repair. Disabled. Earth was sending a message. A very clear one. Do not resist. Move aside. Human ships passed without speaking. Every patrol stood frozen as metal hulls streaked past like migrating shadows. They were heading for Ryan Prime, the capital world of the Council. Inside the Council chamber, the speaker received fragmented reports. Patrols down. Stations silenced. Fleets withdrawing on their own authority rather than fight. The speaker tried to dismiss it as rumor, as exaggeration, as human bluffing. Then a final transmission arrived. One sentence, delivered in a voice cold enough to frost steel. Return our envoy. You cannot. Moments later, the skies above Ryan Prime rippled. Clouds split as dark shapes descended. A ring of human warships appeared in geosynchronous orbit. Each ship glowed with charging energy. They did not fire. They simply held position, forming a silent barrier around the capital. Panic spread across the city below. Citizens fled indoors. Council guards shouted orders without clarity. The speaker rushed to the central balcony to witness the impossible sight. Human ships blockading the Council homeworld without resistance. The speaker demanded communication. Lena appeared on the projection. Her face held no rage, only resolve. She spoke in plain tone. Earth demanded dialogue. You answered with killing. This blockade is the first measure. Remove it by accepting your decision's consequences. The speaker attempted to bluff. Threats. Claims of overwhelming fleet numbers. Accusations that Earth was committing war crimes. But every claim bounced off the calm presence of the human captain. Lena did not raise her voice. She did not show fear. Humans never showed fear when they committed fully. You executed our envoy, she said. We answer now. The speaker ordered the Council Defense Fleet to attack the blockade. Dozens of cruisers launched. They formed a formation meant to intimidate. The first volley they fired never landed. Human ships repositioned with movements faster than any Council vessel could track. Pulse after pulse missed. Human counterfire never targeted the ships. Instead, they targeted engines, weapons, and power cores with surgical accuracy. Council cruisers dropped, one by one, drifting powerless. Not destroyed. Disabled again. The message was unmistakable. Earth could annihilate them. It chose not to. Yet Council delegates panicked. Some demanded surrender. Others insisted humans bluff. A few shouted that the Council had done nothing wrong. But fear spread like smoke, trapped in a small room. The truth was clear. Humanity was no longer the quiet species they thought they could bully. A second wave of reports arrived. Human fleets were now positioned at every major Council world. Not attacking, watching, waiting, Systems with populations in billions now sat under human eyes. Earth had coordinated faster than any species had predicted. The eradication protocol was more than war. It was complete control of the opponent's choices. Give back what cannot be returned. Undo what cannot be undone. Submit or face the full force of a species known for surviving what others could not imagine. The speaker called an emergency meeting. Delegates shouted, argued, and panicked. Every voice filled the chamber except one. A quiet delegate from a small species stood and raised a hand. The chamber lowered volume. The delegate spoke slowly. They executed a human envoy. Humans do not forget. They do not forgive without reason. They do not stop once moved. We have awakened a force that believes in peace until pushed beyond it. The speaker resisted the truth. He refused to accept the consequences. But reality pressed against him from all sides. Human ships blocked every path. The Council's fleets had fallen without casualties. World after world sat under the silent threat of human presence. At last the speaker reached for hope and contacted Lena. His voice trembled. "What do you want?" Lena answered without delay. "Recognition, responsibility, restitution." The speaker demanded clarification. Lena explained that Earth wanted acknowledgement that the execution was unjust, an official apology, and reparations to the envoy's family and world. The speaker balked. Those demands humbled the Council. He tried to reject them, but the blockade tightened. Every hour brought new losses. Trade routes collapsed. Energy shortages grew. Worlds cried for relief. Every second the eradication protocol's grip tightened. At last the Council surrendered. They accepted all terms. They broadcast a public apology across every channel. They announced that the envoy had been killed without justification, and that humanity had acted with restraint, unmatched by any other species. Only then did human ships withdraw from orbit. Only then did the blockade loosen. Only